What's up, YouTube? We're doing a live stream. Check out, indeed, it is Easternoth season. Or not quite. Thanksgiving is next. But I have new shirts available on Customized Girl, including a funny Christmas t-shirt, which I thought was pretty funny. Got a picture of Santa Claus on the front, and it says, and literally it says, "Where my hose at?" You know what I'm saying? It's, yeah. But it is the holidays, and I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving, to be honest. Thanksgiving always has really good food. And it's always sad to think about there are people out there who can't afford to have a decent Thanksgiving, so it's all about being thankful this time of year. And I want to say that I'm very thankful for my fans, my family, my friends, my YouTube career, my businesses that I have, my endeavors, and I'm really thankful for this apartment. You have no idea. And for my landlord being a fan of my videos. Yeah. But I got brand new designs on my Customized Girl. I sure do. Like this jean jacket is fucking beautiful. I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas. I do enjoy handing out gifts and watching people's reactions when they light up. Like, oh, how thoughtful, and that's as far as it goes. Start drinking already. Well, it's like you read my mind. Check out that merch. If you want to shout out, donate to PayPal, Cash App, you know what's up. We'll get to it here in a second because I do have some Jack Daniels. I have 2 shooters of 99 proof bananas. And of course, the lovely and ever so delicious E&J Peach. And of course, I got some Bang Energy. I bought a 4-pack the other day. It's the watermelon flavor. Before we get into the drinking and the ranting, we're going to do a shout out real quick. Shout out to Dylan. Thank you for your $10 via Cash App. I appreciate it, bud. We'll drink some water and brush your teeth. Yeah. Yo, anything new in PayPal? Let's see. Yo, shout out to Inspector Bluer. Dude, have you heard this Aussie cover of the Bee Gees Staying Alive? It's really good. Would love to hear you cover with a dark twist like Ozman himself. Sending you a care package in about a week. Fuck yeah. Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne, oh jeez. Sharon Osbourne goes off on a wild rant about this absolute fucking disgusting asshole, ungrateful piece of shit by the name of Bruce Dickinson. If you don't know who Bruce Dickinson is, he's the fucking lead singer for Iron Maiden, which they're a good band, don't get me wrong, but at the time when this shit all started back in 2005, Sharon at the time had cancer, and thank God she beat it. In my honest opinion, Sharon's a very strong woman. She's survived cancer, she's survived COVID. She's just as tough as Ozzy. So, Bruce Dickinson and his band have not performed for anyone in like 10 years. And then Sharon and Ozzy reach out and they're like, hey man, you wanna tour with us on Ozfest? And even though Even though Bruce Dickinson hates Ozzy for some ungodly reason, he said yes. And he basically spent the whole tour trash talking Ozzy Osbourne on stage. And at some point, you think to yourself, okay, at the time when Sharon had cancer, you think to yourself, okay, this woman has cancer. She's going through chemo, and your band hasn't performed in like 10 fucking years. You could be a little bit more fucking grateful, dude. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Ozzy Osbourne's biggest fan, and Ozzy and Sharon are my favorite Hollywood couple. I'm being genuinely sincere here. You know how many metal musicians would kill to perform at Ozfest? You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna watch this video and make ourselves a drink combo. We tried the I call it the smashed watermelon. When you mix Bang watermelon energy drink with Jack Daniels, pretty tasty. We're gonna try something a little different. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Okay, if you're not Ozzy's biggest fan, that's your take, I guess. But this has been going on for like, okay, they had like 20 some odd tours, and the last tour was in Los Angeles. And Sharon had enough of it because this dude, Bruce Dickinson, oddly fitting last name because he's not a prick, he's an asshole. Ooh, peach flavored Jack Daniels on it. Woohoo! Actually, that is fucking delicious by itself. You got Jack Daniels, old number 7, mixed with some E&J Peach, my favorite whiskey and my favorite brandy. Oh, fuck. Smooth move. It's all right. My phone came off the charger when I dropped the bottle, and it smacked the edge of the desk, and the phone went kaboosh off. We're good. Still got the case on it. Awesome sauce. I got this phone case at My Custom Case that they're based out in Los Angeles. I did an unboxing of it when I got my phone. No, dude, I side with Sharon and Ozzy on this 100%. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Ozzy's one of his biggest fans, you know. You know how many fucking musicians would kill to perform at Ozfest? You know how many musicians would sell their soul to Satan to perform at Ozfest? You know what I'm saying? I already sold my soul to Satan for demonic power and to get better at my music. And it worked. Power is something more than just, oh, you wave a wand and cast a spell. There's different ways to display it, kind of thing. But that's neither here nor there. I want to add like 2 shooters of 99 proof bananas just for shits and giggles. Ozzy Osbourne and all this other shit. There's some shit going down with J.K. Rowling too. We're gonna get into that as well. But even if Sharon didn't have cancer at the time of this incident popping off, you think you'd be a little bit more grateful. And I cannot stress this enough, dude. I'm also very from deathbed tapes. You know what I'm saying? That's cool how life works out like that.
Recently, Iron Maiden has been in the news.
So here we go. We got some Jack Daniels, old number 7. We got 2 99 proof bananas and a splash of E&J Peach. Peaches and bananas. And smoking the sweet leaf, you know, the circle, the green smoke. Yeah. Black flame to light my green smoke. That's my cult saying. I love it. And he didn't like the smell of marijuana, so of course he had to say something about it. And it's just like, dude, you're at a fucking concert, metal and rock concert. You're gonna see people smoking pot, doing drugs, drinking alcohol, all of the above. And there's nothing wrong with drugs as long as you're responsible with it, it's just a time and a place kind of thing. I love doing cocaine, but I don't want to make a habit out of it, so I don't do it all the time. Once, very rarely, in a blue moon, I'll get some of that booger sugar, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But cocaine is so fucking expensive, and it's so goddamn stepped on in this town that it's honestly not worth it. That's why I mainly stick to alcohol and cannabis. Now, I smoke cannabis for my Asperger's. It's great. I, I'm sure I know for a fact Ozzy occasionally fires up, and I'm just saying, like after his neck surgery and the Parkinson's disease and all that shit, maybe Ozzy smokes weed to like take the pain away from his surgery and his Parkinson's and all that. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Him and Sharon and Ozzy both actually smoke pot on occasion. I'm telling you right now, couples who smoke together stay together. Yeah. So let's see what Mr. Bruce Dickinson has to say about this. And who the fuck has a problem with marijuana anymore? It's 2022, dude. You know, I personally think all drugs should be legal, regulated, and taxed, but that's just my opinion, and that may sound controversial, but if people are having a problem with drugs and they're a non-violent drug offender, you should throw them in treatment instead of throwing them in jail. There are people out there who do heinous shit that belong in jail, to be honest. Some asshole snorting a line of cocaine, pops a couple of shrooms, does like 2 tabs of acid, and then spends the entire night smoking cannabis and playing, fucking Call of Duty or whatever, playing video games. They're not hurting anyone, so that they fry their brain for a couple hours. Ooh. It's the war on drugs is so fucking hypocritical. Don't get me fucking started. You falsely diagnose some poor parent's kid with ADHD so you can have an excuse to dope them up on prescription drugs. So then when they get to high school, you can say, don't smoke pot, kids. It's a gateway drug. I'll tell you what's a gateway drug, the lies they spread about cannabis. Because once you try weed, you're just like, man, this ain't so bad. Fuck, I actually feel euphoric. What else have they lied to me? That's what I'm saying. Growing up in the 90s, that's how it was, man. Growing up as a 90s baby, that's how it is. They lied to you about cannabis. They're like, don't smoke the devil's lettuce, kids. It's a gateway drug. I'm like, what the fuck is marijuana a gateway drug to, man? Taco Bell? Get the fuck out of here. Bro. I'm serious. Like, that's how it is. Marijuana is a gateway drug to what? A good time? Shit. Uh, and shit, man, we might get legal weed here in Wyoming soon. I voted for Governor Gordon because he said he wanted to legalize weed and cannabis in Wyoming. We have like CBD and Delta 8, and the state started making some heavy money off these dispensaries. Hint, hint. You know, all of a sudden they're looking at all the money they're making off these marijuana dispensaries here in town. You can legally walk into any one of these places now and buy a little glass marijuana pipe. As long as you're using it for CBD, they don't care. You can walk down the street fucking puffing on it. No one's gonna say shit. Except, hey, that smells good. Let me hit that. Like, okay, if you're allergic to marijuana, that's gotta suck ass, and that's why you don't like the smell of it. That's understandable. But Bruce Dickinson was just being a dick, as his last name implies. Well, Sharon Osbourne calls him an asshole, and I fully agree. As far as I'm concerned, if you're enemies with Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne, you ain't no friend of mine. That's for damn sure. I could care less if Ozzy signs me. His health is more important, man. You know, don't get me wrong, it'd be fucking amazing, but yeah. I've spoke on length about this. I'm like, what's in it for Sharon and Ozzy, dude? You know, people are starting to recognize King Cobra. Shit, excuse me. No affiliate to the '80s band with a similar name, but they spell theirs with a K. But yeah, dude, that's just thing. It's the business mentality. You got to think what's in it for them. I don't want Ozzy Osbourne to sign me just because I'm one of his biggest fans. It's one of those things where if I had like a million subscribers and I put out a couple albums and I perfected my sound, you know, you got to look at it from a business perspective. But going back to Bruce Dickinson, piece of shit. Okay, could you imagine if Ozzy Osbourne signed you for Ozfest and you were literally on stage every night trash talking Ozzy? Who fucking does that? If I was at Ozfest, even if the band wasn't my cup of tea, I'd go up on stage and I'd be like, hey, you know what? Thank you to Sharon and Ozzy for continuing this amazing tradition of Ozfest. I just want to say thank you to everyone for attending the concert. And a big thanks to all the awesome bands that came out to perform, keeping Ozzy's legacy alive, man. That's what's up. And that's how you do it. I'm so fucking grateful for whatever little fame that I do have, mind you. I'm not as famous as Ozzy Osbourne, but someday I will be, and that's the goal, to be world's biggest fan. Like I said, you could be fucking grateful that prior to this Iron Maiden performing at Ozfest when all this shit went down, his band hadn't performed in 10 fucking years. Could you imagine, YouTube? Could you fucking imagine? I mean, Ozzy hasn't performed live very often, like on and off in the last couple of years. And Ozzy misses it more than he misses drugs, to be honest. I can see it in his eyes. He's like, oh, dude, I can't begin to imagine. I get a little rush when I go live. I don't have to be on cannabis or alcohol to appreciate it. Just I get like 300-400 views on YouTube watching me live, and it's like, ooh, I feel it, dude. People getting stoked, like it's Cobra. But yeah, we're gonna watch this rock feed video. We'll go back and see what Sharon has to say about it, and then we'll talk about J.K. Rowling. The Fantastic Beasts movies are getting canceled because J.K. Rowling's being labeled as a transphobe. She has literally said nothing bad about trans people. These people who identify as women and then get pissed off because J.K. Rowling stands up and says, fuck that prick in Scotland and fuck Scotland's new law kind of thing. You already heard me talk about this. Scotland passed a law that says if a criminal identifies as the opposite sex, then because Scotland is progressive and they support trans rights, then that asshole gets to be put into a female prison if they identify as such. And it's fucking stupid because if a dude rapes like 4 women, fuck rape, by the way, if a woman is raped and then her rapist identifies as female, even though he's a dude, and without getting his Johnson or the tits or any of it, without doing the whole Blair White thing, the dude's being thrown into a female prison surrounded by other vulnerable women. That would be like if some asshole identified as trans age and that fucking asshole did some nasty shit to kids and then demanded to be thrown into a juvenile detention center because they're trans age. And I'm like, that's you never see that crap. Fuck sickos, dude. And that's the thing of it. I'm all for like trans people having more rights, but sometimes there are assholes who they take advantage of it and they go too far with it, dude. Back in my day, if you wanted to change in the female locker room, you had to have lady bits. Like, hey, you know what? You either give these people their own fucking separate locker room, or it's like you cannot use the female locker room until you're fully transitioned. I'm sorry, but that's just how I fucking feel about it, dude. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? Yes. Like at some point, it's like, okay, not every woman or man that is cisgendered is going to be some kind of. I hate that negative stereotype too. That if you're cisgendered, you're automatically some kind of phobe or bigot or whatever or sexist, and I'm just like, like if women feel uncomfortable in the locker room because there's a legitimate dude changing in the locker room and he gets away with it because he says he's trans, and if women call it out for like what it is, they get labeled some kind of phobe. And it's like, hey, you know what? If somebody wants to chop their dick off, turn their ball sack inside out, and have it stapled together, they literally slice your dick and ball sack in half, rip off the mushroom head, rip off your testicles, and then your penis becomes a vaginal tube. And then they staple you and sew you back up. Ouch. No, thank you. No, I totally support trans rights, man, but there's a line you shouldn't be allowed to cross. Like if kids identify as trans and they want to cross dress and go by pronouns, let them do it, man. But if they want the surgery, they should have to wait till they're 18 or older. Okay, if kids are not allowed to consent to sex, then they shouldn't be allowed to consent to changing it. You know what I'm saying? That's just a fact. There are so many health consequences to preventing kids from going through puberty as their natural assigned gender. And the majority of today's kids are just confused because they're having this whole transgender ideology shoved down their throat rather than letting it, growing up when I was a kid, I had classmates who were gay, and I didn't mind it one bit. I just didn't care, to be honest. You go to the teen center, as it's called in Valley City or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And you see like two chicks dancing with each other, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, I like watching girl on girl action, so I didn't see a problem with it. And it's like, you know what? That's why I support men who want to do it too, because as long as you ain't a sicko, who cares? It's one thing for kids to hook up with other kids, but you know what I'm saying? As long as it doesn't cross that line, or like adults hooking up with other adults, it should never be either or at the same time. No, fuck pedophilia, dude. That shit's gross. Kids are more precious than rock and roll, to be honest. That's how I see it. And it's frustrating because you got people trying to normalize pedophilia because some asshole's allowed to chop off their dick and call themselves a female. And I'm like, look, there's a difference, dude. That is a grown ass adult consenting to change their body. Kids are not mature enough to handle sex, man. They're really not. Plus, they don't have boobs. You can't take them out for a pint of beer. The fuck? Like, okay, when I was a kid, yeah, I crushed on cartoon characters. But that's as far as it goes for kids in that area. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up watching Freakazoid, Cobra Queen, rawr. I also grew up watching Sailor Pluto because back in the day when I was a kid, a kid watching chicks in miniskirts, like I knew I was straight when I was younger, but like I didn't fully understand the maturity of it until I became an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like I had some hot teachers, female teachers growing up, and it's like I'm grateful they didn't touch me back in the day because I wouldn't have been able to handle it. Oh, that's right. It's not creepy when female teachers do it. Fuck off. Okay, so Bruce Dickinson, circle back to that. Fuck pedophiles and power to the people. Bruce Dickinson was throwing a little fit because some people were smoking pot near the stage. I'm like, dude, that's what you do when you're at a fucking rock or metal concert, man. You smoke the Mary Jane. And if you're old enough, you get some liquor too. That's what I did when I saw Ozzy Osbourne perform in Denver, Colorado before he canceled his last 4 shows and got that staph infection in his hand. Then he got COVID. Then he beat COVID. Then he had a surgery in his neck. Dude, Ozzy's had a fucking rough couple of years, dude. I'm feeling for him right now. But Ozzy's tough. He'll get through this, man. He always does. If Ozzy Osbourne can survive doing every drug on the fucking known God's green earth, whatever the fuck Satan's green earth, whatever you want to call it, then yeah, it is what it is, though. Like, that concert was amazing. I just barely made it to see Ozzy perform. I missed the first half of the show. I didn't care. Ozzy's opener was a good band. I forget which band it was, but I got to see Ozzy perform a second time, and it was so fucking awesome. It was at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado, and right next to the Pepsi Center, big ass clock tower, dude. Ridiculous. I get out of the Ozzy Osbourne concert after smoking weed in the audience out of my tobacco pipe and slamming Jack Daniels and Pepsi. I had a double shot of Jack and Pepsi. It was drinks at concerts are fucking expensive. I had enough for just one, and I was so grateful, dude. I got a couple T-shirts, and then you know, then I walked outside of the concert, pulled out a joint I bought from the dispensary, and fucking fired that bitch up, and nobody stopped me. I did not expect to get recognized at the concert, but I took the escalator up to the second floor where my seat was at. Someone shouted, "Gothic King Cobra, now it's a party." And I was like, "Yeah." But yeah, circling back to this Bruce Dickinson asshole, it's like, dude, okay, you want to gripe about the marijuana smell at a fucking rock concert? That's petty and stupid. But attacking Ozzy Osbourne after him and his wife gave you a shot, dude, that's what pisses me off. The fact that at the time, in 2005, mind you, Sharon Osbourne had cancer in 2005 and she beat it. That's what's up. But freaking, yeah, Bruce Dickinson was going on stage and trashing Ozzy. I'm like, you fucking prick. At that time, his band had not performed in 10 fucking years. And it's like, what are you too good for an Ozfest show? Go fuck yourself, dude. And, karma's a bitch. I'm going to say that right now. And Sharon had enough of it, dude. She was just like, man, fuck this asshole. I should have never hired his band. And it's not his band. Even his bandmates are like, hey, we want to apologize for our singer being a douchebag. Yeah, Bruce Dickinson trashing Ozzy Osbourne after him and his wife graciously allowed them to perform at Ozfest. That is literally the equivalent of Justin Bieber spitting on his fans. Like, the fuck? And the dude, you know what kills me about Justin Bieber? He calls himself a fucking metalhead. And I'm like, bitch, please. If you were a fucking metalhead, you would have started off in the metal industry. Selling sex to underage girls is not exactly difficult, bud. I know because when I was a kid, I thought Britney Spears was hot, and I still do. Like Britney Spears, oh yeah, dude. People are just sitting there freaking out because Britney Spears is posting naked pictures of herself on Instagram, and I'm like, you don't see me complaining. Like, oh my god, Britney's having another mental breakdown. Like, no, she's not. Have you seen Instagram? It's nothing but chicks that are like practically naked, anyways. Advertising for their OnlyFans be like, and I'm like, my only complaint with the Britney Spears doing naked pictures on Instagram was that they were censored. I'm like, oh, But you think Bruce Dickinson would have been a bit more grateful if your band, if I hadn't, if I, okay, if I was famous enough to do concerts like Iron Maiden does, and I hadn't performed in 10 years, and I got a taste of that rush, that, the look in Ozzy's eye when he talks about performing, it's just the twinkle of a rock star. It's like, yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck off with this Bruce Dickinson bullshit. Sharon legitimately had her chemo nurses sneak in a bunch of eggs, and they're like, "Okay, Brucey, you've had enough, bud. You're a fucking little cunt. Okay, Iron Maiden ain't shit compared to Black Sabbath, mate. So fuck off, you wanker scabbing cunt." You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally tell Bruce Dickinson to go suck the Queen's minge for all I care. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck off. Fuck sickos. And I'm like, on top of everything else, it's like, even with Sharon going through cancer at the time and chemo treatment, you think you'd be a little bit more fucking grateful, like, oh, hey. But I'm ranting. Hold up.
He said he couldn't stand the smell and it was disruptive to the performance. And another
Oh my fucking God. You hate the smell of weed and it was disruptive to the performance. You're out of. Oh, I'm not even 17 seconds into the video and I already want to fucking punch Bruce Dickinson in the fucking face. You ungrateful fucking wanker. Like I said, dude, if Bruce Dickinson's an enemy of Ozzy and Sharon, he's definitely not my cup of tea, dude. Fuck this wanker. Poison Ivy from Batman, the adult version. Yeah.
member of the band also felt the same way. And this raised some eyebrows with people who like to smoke weed. So now a years long feud between apparently Sharon and Ozzy and Iron Maiden is now blown wide back open, with Sharon Osbourne referring to Bruce Dickinson as a fucking asshole in a brand new interview, also asserting that he was jealous of Ozzy. Sharon does not hold back in her public comments. And so we're going to get right
No,
into
you
that.
shouldn't have to. You're attacking Ozzy Osbourne. That's too goddamn far. People are accusing Sharon of being a racist. And I'm like, well, that's your opinion, I guess. Whatever. But then they started sending Ozzy and Sharon death threats and attacking Ozzy Osbourne. And I'm like, nope, too far. If your problem is with his wife, then, send her an angry email and bitch about it on social media and then be done with it. You know what I'm saying? As spoken as somebody who's had death threats, like, I was swatted by the Casper Police Department. They haven't caught the asshole who did it to me as far as I know, but they will catch him. It's fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you try to be all like macho badass, like, nice guns, officers, but I'll admit I was scared as shit, man. I had like 40 AR-15s pointed at my fucking face and body. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I'm on YouTube doing a review for Taco Time that my fans sent me. You know, I'll be eating some ramen noodles with some chicken after this video because that's how it goes. And people have told me to fucking kill myself on top of it. It's just, I get these fucking text messages where the trolls are like, hey, Cobra, kill yourself. And I'm like, living is just a slow way to commit suicide. And I text my trolls back, you first. I want to see the light leave your eyes. I'll be smoking a blunt and jacking off while I watch my trolls kill themselves. And then when they're fucking dead, I want to fuck their mother on top of their grave. At some point, they're like, you know what? Cobra's got some fucking issues, but he has it under control. What am I doing with my life? All the trolling does is make me more famous, and all it does is get people to feel sorry for me because it's like, Cobra is super autistic. This is kind of fucked up what they're doing. Bruce Dickinson is a piece of shit, and my trolls are pathetic, but what else is new, right? Check out my actual glasses, get more into character here. Hold up. Rock and roll!
Before we get started, I truly want to thank each and every one of you that regularly tune into Rockfeed. You have no idea how much that means to us. We have a lot of returning viewers. If you could just take a quick second.
And yeah, check out the customized girl. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas, there are a lot of people who celebrate it. And Christmas can be really depressing, so I made a funny t-shirt. It's got Santa Claus on the front and it says, "Where my hoes at? Where are my hoes at?" And on the back it's got some Christmas bells and it says, "Jingle my bells," you know. It's obnoxious without crossing the line.
And hit that subscribe button, you would be directly supporting this channel. The feud between Bruce.
You know, that's what pisses me off about Christmas. People are so fucking greedy this time of year, and then on top of that, you can't even enjoy Halloween because it's like you go to Walmart and the Christmas decorations are already out, and it's not even Halloween yet, you know. Like, could you wait till after Thanksgiving to do that? That's all I'm asking. Because you gotta think about all like the Jewish people or like the Muslims or people who don't celebrate it, you know. It shows you that Christianity has way too much control in our society.
Dickinson and Sharon Osbourne actually goes back a good while to 2005. It all went down when Iron Maiden was on Ozfest that year, and everything came to a head during their final performance on the tour. It's actually pretty unbelievable, and this incident is known as the Eggfest incident. And it happened when Iron Maiden was getting ready to take the stage. And prior to their performance,
Now, if Sharon just randomly out of fucking nowhere decided, you know what, fuck this Bruce Dickinson asshole and start throwing eggs at him, fine. That would have been fucked off. But Bruce Dickinson would go on stage at Ozfest and trash Ozzy Osbourne every night, just sit there talk shit on him, and I'm like, what a fucking cunt, an absolute male cunt, dude. You know how many musicians, including myself, would just I'd love to perform at Ozfest, man. If I could like one of my albums gets really big and people are just like, "Hey, I dig Cobra sound," you know. My general sound is like Satan's Bell, where it's like layered vocals, the power metal, the Danny Phil shrieking, a little bit of Ozzy, you know. It's like if Ozzy Osbourne, Cradle of Filth, and Hammerfall made an album together, you know. But yeah, Bruce Dickinson can fuck off.
unknown voice came through the PA system to the crowd and began chanting, Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy. Iron Maiden then took the stage, and during their set, people were throwing eggs, ice, and bottle caps at them from the crowd. With Bruce Dickinson.
Should have been talking shit on Ozzy. That's what you get, you little fucking cunt. That's what you fucking get, you miserable fucking jealous wanker scabbing human excuse piece of shit. I don't know. Speaking as a musician myself who's trying to get out there and get my shit noticed, you know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, dude, if you were like as famous as Iron Maiden and you haven't performed in 10 years, you think to yourself, yeah, you know, I miss it. So then you'd want to continue performing kind of thing. And then out of nowhere, it's not your own personal tour, but like, you know, you haven't performed in 10 fucking years. You'd still be grateful for the opportunity. You don't see Ozzy Osbourne complaining when the NFL is just like, "Hey Ozzy, could you perform for us live at an NFL game?" Fuck yeah. You don't see Ozzy complaining when Birmingham, England has him for a performance. That's what happens with a lot of good musicians. They get an ego, and I've always told myself I don't give a fuck how famous I become. I'm never letting my fame go to my head, and I refuse to let my trolls get to me. My trolls are too lazy to put out their own music and have their own idols and just do their thing. People people are just like, "Hey Cobra, you're awesome, man. Keep doing your thing." And like, you know it. Like there's just so many fucking messed up, like at the time Sharon had cancer and she was getting over it, and on top of that, it's like you haven't performed in 10 years. So you think you'd be a little bit more fucking grateful. You would have been like, "Hey, you know what? I hope Sharon beats it," kind of thing, and shout out to all the awesome musicians who came out to perform with me. That's how I would have handled it, but instead, no. What does he do? And I'm like, okay, at some point, talking to the person is not going to do anything. So yeah, Sharon hired a little exact revenge. See what I did there? I made a joke. Exact. She exact. And that's just the thing of it. If I would have had people throwing eggs at me on stage, I would have made a joke about it and continued performing. But he got so pissed, and I'm like, "Well, what do you expect? You ungrateful, talentless hack piece of shit. Ozzy Osbourne gives you a chance to go tour with him on Ozfest, and instead of being like, hey, you know what? My band and my bandmates and me haven't performed in 10 years. Thank you, Sharon and Ozzy, for the opportunity. This means a lot." They gotta nitpick it. Oh boy. I gotta stop ranting and just play the video.
Apparently encouraging people in the crowd to break the arms of the perpetrators in the audience. Then, at a different point during Iron Maiden's set, when Bruce Dickinson waves the British flag around on stage, an individual appeared at stage left wearing a t shirt that said, "Don't fuck with Ozzy," and was waving an American flag around.
Yeah. Speaking of the British flag, I have a cheeky little t-shirt on my customized girl. It features Big Ben the clock tower, and it says Prince Andrew is a nasty wanker. On the back it's got a pentagram and it says God save the Queen. Because Prince Andrew was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. That's fucking gross. And on top of that, when they called him out on it, he was like, it's all bullshit. But then they pull up a photo of him hanging out with his victim when she was underage. And on top of that, it's like, it wasn't photoshopped because they held up a physical photo from the 80s. And I'm like, dude, that's disgusting. Dude, that's the nail in your fucking coffin, you asshole. That's precisely why the queen was like, no, the other one's gonna take the throne with his wife. And you, sir, can fuck off. I think the only reason Queen Elizabeth fucking paid for her son's court fees is because you're a mother. When you're a mother, you care about your children no matter how bad they fuck up. And you know, that's the nature of it, I guess. But I'm like, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I fucking hate pedophiles, dude, more than I love rock and roll. It's just, you know, I don't understand because I was a kid once, so I don't understand the attraction to that. You know what I'm saying? It's just how I feel, to be honest. I remember being a kid and I had a Britney Spears poster in my fucking room and I'd make out with it because I hadn't had my first kiss yet. I didn't get my first kiss until I was a senior in high school, mind you, and I was ditching gym class, listening to Cradle of Filth, smoking Salem full flavored 100s. And two homeschool chicks came by, and I managed to get my first kiss that day. That was glorious. She might have felt sorry for me, but I'll take it. I might get rejected by every chick I like, but that doesn't stop me from talking to the ladies. There's a way you gotta do it though, you know what I'm saying? You rock your tactical soap and you wait patiently and you play it cool, you know? Because women say they want it as badly as men do until they get it, and it's like, "I only wanted to be held," to quote Andrew Dice Clay. I watched a speaking of stand-up comedians, I watched this Amy Schumer chick. She did this stand-up routine back in, like, 2009 or some shit, and she was making jokes about women getting raped at college, and I was not laughing. I'm like, "You wanna call me a sexist for not laughing at that? Go ahead." That's what kills me about society. It's like, if you don't think Amy Schumer's funny, you're a sexist. I'm like, it just depends on the satire, because there's nothing funny about rape. And the fact you have a woman making jokes about that when there are so many women who bitch about what pigs men are, it rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, I couldn't watch it, to be honest. I exited out of that YouTube video. I was like, fuck that shit. Having a drink combo, we got some Jack Daniels, 99 proof bananas, and of course the ever so lovely E&J peach. E&J has been made since the 70s. But Jack Daniels, oh, I love my Jack. Jameson, Jack, number 7. I like whiskey in general. It's my favorite. And I don't have any like chaser in this. This is all just solid alcohol. I'm sipping on it like, oh, this is delicious. I'm like, Andrew Dice Clay, the comedian with his greased up, slick back hair. Hickory dickory dock, Andrew Dice Clay is the shit. He's one of my favorite comedians. But some of the shit he'd say is so degrading to women, yes. But what's really fucked up is that when Amy Schumer is more degrading to women than Andrew Dice Clay is, and if you don't laugh at it, you're a sexist. I'm like, has the fucking world gone mad?
At that point, he was quickly removed by Iron Maiden's team. And then, according to reporting,
Okay, so some crazy Ozzy Osbourne fan went up near the stage with an American flag T-shirt that said "Don't fuck with Ozzy," and then it triggered Iron Maiden to the point where they're just like, "Security!" Like when Justin Bieber was having water bottles chucked at him on concert, and he just said, "Fuck this, I'm done." Fuck that, dude. People pay good money to see your fucking annoying ass perform. So it's like you could have some respect for your fans. I love my fans as much as I love Ozzy Osbourne, to be honest, because I would not have a career in YouTube and my music without my fans. You know, you heard my Eminem remake of Without King Cobra, and it literally says, "Fuck the trolls, the fans are where it's at." That's exactly how I feel about it. So personally, I'd like to thank my trolls for watching my videos and making me more famous and getting people to feel sorry for me because Cobra's getting bullied on the internet. Wah. Like, bitch, I grew up getting bullied by everyone. I grew up getting rejected by every chick I liked, getting bullied by everyone that I know, and I still don't give a fuck, dude. It's the truth.
MTV at the time, the PA system conveniently cut off during 3 of Iron Maiden's biggest songs, leaving Bruce Dickinson without access to a mic.
That's fucking hilarious. On top of the fans, for Ozzy and what have you, the PA system cut out. It's like, well, that's convenient. See, even if you're not Ozzy Osbourne's biggest fan, you shouldn't fuck with him because that dude is more legend than I will ever be in my entire life. He's like my John Lennon and my Lemmy Kilmister. I look up to him like that, like the way Ozzy looks up to John Lennon, kind of thing. If I live to be like 73, 74, people are going to be like, Cobra, what you listening to? I'm like, I still listen to Ozzy Osbourne and Cradle of Filth. Speaking of Cradle of Filth, dude, I love these. I got 4 tattoos. Got my cobra with the pot leaves. There's a pentagram on the cobra's head, a little satanic star right there. I got my Aussie knuckles, I got my cobra gram, and I got my Cradle of Filth tattoo. I'm very happy with the tattoos I have. People are like, "You're gonna get more tattoos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I plan on it." And the Monster, the energy drink company Monster with that green M you see on the front of the cans. I want the green M right there. And I want to get like a Deathly Hallows Harry Potter symbol right here where the triangle goes down like that. And then, yeah. And then right here, I want to do a fucking dark mark like Voldemort's skull and snake symbol. But the snake is like a hooded monocled cobra from like the top view where you just see in the back of the hood kind of thing. But and then I want to get demon wings tattooed on my back, but tattoos are expensive. They really are. Get some like black light tattooed ink right here and get an all-seeing eye with the lines and the pyramids and the little eye right there. It'd be super detailed, but like it'd only show up when like I'm at a club and then the black light pops off and they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Phone. Nobody could hear what was going on, and this occurred while they were performing.
Now, if Bruce Dickinson was not dogging on Ozzy Osbourne the whole time, I would have been like, okay, that's an unfair break, mate. But dude, what the fuck do you expect? You're at Ozfest. Uh, uh, you're at Ozfest, and every night you go on stage and talk shit about Ozzy Osbourne. What the fuck do you think's gonna happen? People are gonna get sick of it. It's just like when my fans are watching me do YouTube, and they're just like, I'm sick of Cobra being bullied and harassed. And when my fans get sick of it, I'm not going to be responsible for the loyalty that my fans have to me, to be honest. So I totally get it to some extent.
Run to the hills, hallowed be thy name, and number of the beast.
Hallowed be thy name. The first time I heard that song, it was from Cradle of Filth, ironically. It was an Iron Maiden remake. Hallowed be thy. Okay, no, that didn't. Mm-mm. Okay, there we go. Fucking, yeah. Bust out a shriek. Whoops. It took a couple years of like self-training my vocals to sing like that. I had no singing voice lessons, just listening on like various YouTube tutorials on how to like throat sing like that. And then like I made it a goal, dude, to be able to shriek like Danny Filth and be like, that'd be fucking legendary. And now I can actually do it. It's a little raspy, but there you go. Like I go ham on it, dude, especially with Satan's Bell. I really like Satan's Bell. That's one of my newer albums and I like the way it turned out. Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson could be heard apparently accusing festival organizers of intentionally shutting that PA system off. And he
Well, what do you expect? I mean, like, sincerely, you want to compare apples to oranges. Justin Bieber gets signed by a black musician and then starts making racist jokes about black people. And it's like, what? That's literally what you're doing. That's like the equivalent. You know what I'm saying? Like you haven't performed in 10 years and you're itching for like to get up on stage and like play your music. And that's the thing of it. You don't need a concert to perform your music. Like there's times where I don't even go on YouTube and I'll just sit here and plug in my guitar and turn on my amp and just I'll play guitar off camera because I love to play guitar. I really do. It's great. Like if I'm having a shit day, fucking shred some shit.
also wondered aloud how people were able to sneak cartons of eggs past Ozfest security. Dickinson also reportedly said at the time that
Because the people who were throwing the eggs were Sharon's chemotherapists. Like, it's the fact that Sharon had cancer at one point and you didn't look upon yourself to be like, oh, hey, Ozzy and Sharon are giving me an opportunity to continue my career kind of thing. And instead of being a little bit more grateful and being like, oh, Sharon, shit, I'm sorry you're going through that kind of thing. Fucking, no, dude, absolute fucking asshole. I'm like, who the fuck sits there and says, oh, yeah, I'm this big badass metal band, fucking Iron Maiden fucking assholes. Who the fuck sits there and says, oh, I smell marijuana? I'm like, dude, maybe you should smoke some weed and fucking rethink your life. That's what I would say to Bruce Dickinson. Is you should take some marijuana and like rethink your life, dude. And like tone the ego down a bit, man. You're there for your fans, and Ozzy Osbourne's giving you an outlet to reach out to your fans instead of being grateful. I'm not saying you have to kiss Ozzy and Sharon's ass, mind you, but at least be a little bit more fucking grateful. Don't go out on stage like, oh yeah, 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 talking shit on Ozzy Osbourne. Like, fuck off, dude.
the band would never be featured in a reality show, apparently taking a shot at the Osbournes out of frustration at the time. As if that is
Like, Bruce Dickinson, you're just jealous because nobody wants to fucking film a reality show about you.
wild enough. Apparently, after that set, Sharon Osbourne herself took the stage and began speaking to the crowd, saying that she, quote, absolutely loved Iron Maiden and their crew, but she noted that Dickinson was apparently a prick and had disrespected Ozfest since they began their stint with the tour.
What? That's pretty bad when the goddess of rock and roll herself, Sharon Osbourne, has to take the stage and be like, okay, fuck this guy. He's a fucking asshole. Now, the holidays are coming up, and if you want to spice up your marriage and your love life this holiday season, check out Tactical Soap. Coupon code King Cobra that helps me as a starving artist to make some money. And yeah, I'll keep the food hacks coming. I had a spur of like moments where I had some food and then like my wheels started turning kind of thing. But yeah, my last two cooking food hacks were delicious. The deep fried buffalo wings were fucking phenomenal. That mac and cheese that I made was so fucking good. Like, I put my own twist on things, and they usually turn out pretty fucking good. The exception being the fiery fish pizza. That stuff was, oh, jeez. I love fish. I love spicy food kind of thing, but like, ugh, might have had too much spicy goodness on the fiery fish pizza. Like that's what Ozzy Osbourne would look like if he was balding, autistic, and had facial hair. Hey Cobra, Argus Filch called. He wants his hair back.
night that week, the official Ozfest website posted a statement which read partially, quote, Iron Maiden were chosen for the Ozfest tour because the Ozfest committee thought they were a good band. Plus the fact
So like you have a committee of people beyond the legendary Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne, and this committee who says, "Oh yeah, we've heard of Iron Maiden. There's this British band. You know how like rock and roll seems to be ingrained into like British culture. Yeah, baby." And I'm like, I'm 80% British according to Ancestry.com, mind you. So I'm proud of that. Like, yo. 80% British and like 30% Scottish. So the committee chose Bruce Dickinson and his, I'm not gonna say it's his band, but just the band Iron Maiden. Yeah. And it's like he had a problem with cannabis. I'm just like, bro. One of my fans sent me this pipe and it's got a cobra on the front. I still have it. I keep it on my magical altar. This is honestly, I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite pipes. The detail in that is immaculate, to say the least. Uh,
They had not done shows in the US for some time. From day one, Bruce Dickinson started berating Ozzy and belittling the Ozfest audience. He stated,
what the? Oh my god! From day one, YouTube, Bruce Dickinson started insulting Ozzy Osbourne and belittling Ozfest. And it's like, you know what? Then you're not good enough to be signed by Sharon and Ozzy for Ozfest, you fucking cunts. You can suck the Queen's minge for all I care, you fucking unappreciative hack. I'm like, at some point, you would have thought to yourself, hey, you know what? I haven't performed in 10 years. I'm given an opportunity to put myself out there. You know, if you would have kept your opinions about Ozzy Osbourne to yourself, you wouldn't have gotten egged, mate. You know, I guess Bruce Dickinson ain't all it's cracked up to be. See what I did there? I made an egg joke.
didn't need a reality show to give him credibility.
Uh, holy shit. It's got some burn to it. Yeah, that's the stuff. I actually have a couple of seasons of the Osbournes on DVD. To be truthful with you, I have season 1 and season 2. And Ozzy Osbourne did not need his reality show, The Osbournes, to make a name for himself. You fucking insufferable male cunts. No, it's fucking stupid, dude. I'm just like, wow. If I were to describe Black Sabbath, they're like the Beatles, but with more of a bluesy sort of heavy metal influence. Like if you made the Beatles goth, that's how I look at it. You might disagree with me. That's your opinion.
Just some fucking reunion band, and continuously complained about the
Oh, wham! Wham! Hey, all these rock stars are getting older, mates, and you want to throw a little fucking fit because you're not some fucking reunion band. I'm like, do you know what? You know what? Honestly, fuck Bruce Dickinson, this piece of shit. Because it's like, dude, if people still even give a fuck about my music when I'm 73, then you know what? I've done something with my life. If people are sitting there watching me go live in my clock tower dream house, because trust and believe, I'm going to build my clock tower dream house before I'm 74. You may call me a dreamer, you may say I'm full of shit, but I'm like, you never know what life has in store until you've lived it. You never know what's in store for life until you've lived it, dude. See, even if Ozzy Osbourne doesn't sign me, I'm still gonna support him, to be honest. I get to exist in the same universe, in the same time zone as God himself. I was a little bit into Ozzy Osbourne when I got into Cradle of Filth, but then Danny Filth literally said Ozzy Osbourne's one of my idols. And I'm like, okay, I'll give him a chance. And I've been hooked ever since, to be honest. And then it's the same thing with Ozzy, like in the Beatles kind of thing. I tend to gravitate towards that hard rocker lifestyle, YouTube. Fucking Ozzy Osbourne makes me laugh. I don't care. It's a sense of humor. That's what gets me. I love Ozzy for that, dude. It's fucking great. Kelly, I can go to the gynecologist for ya. I feel like a cunt. Oh my god. Fucking glorious. Like if Ozzy Osbourne wasn't a famous musician, he'd make a damn good stand-up comedian kind of thing.
Sound system, saying that when he comes back to America, he'll have a better one. I understand he hasn't toured in the US in these size venues in a while, and no more
Okay, just because you haven't toured in the good old United States of America, I'm an American citizen. I'm proud of my British heritage, and I'm proud of my American heritage, and I'm proud of my Scottish heritage. You don't even know. But that's the thing of it. Like, if you haven't performed in like 10 years in the States, you think to yourself, hey, you know what? It's money in my pocket. It's a chance to reach a younger audience. A younger audience, YouTube. Like, oh, hey, there are several people who've definitely heard of Ozzy Osbourne, but who the fuck is Iron Maiden?
understands the political structure of things. Out of
There was a. Oh, yeah. There is a political structure to these things, yes. But regardless if Sharon has cancer or not, they give you an opportunity after 10 years of not performing. You think you'd be a little bit more grateful. I honestly left a comment on this video before I started drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many musicians would kill to be a part of Ozfest?
100 plus bands over the past 10 years, he has been the only person who hasn't had the Ozfest spirit. He thought he was at a battle of the bands, always
Oh my fucking god, that's the wrong attitude. He thought he was at this battle of the bands. That's the problem with it, dude. You gotta be like, you know what? Who cares if they're better than me? Who cares if they're shittier than me? I'm here to perform my music, and that's all that matters. Like this whole you're at the battle of the bands. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Fucking fuck Bruce Dickinson, this fucking cock sucking wanker, fucking cunt, bloody vaginal belch piece of shit. I'm not just saying that because he's enemies with Sharon and Ozzy, but it's like, dude, you know how many people would kill to perform an Ozfest to have their big shots? And instead of being grateful that, okay, Iron Maiden is still relevant in today's culture, it's like, what the fuck? Okay, even if you're not Ozzy's biggest fan, keep it to yourself. Thank the bands for coming out. Thank Ozzy and Sharon for having you, and leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Fucking stupid, dude.
Other comments about the other artists. Might I
Oh my, of course. Comments about the other artists. That's the thing of it. Like I said, if I was lucky enough to perform at Ozfest, YouTube, if King Cobra JFS took off to the point where I'm playing my music at Ozfest, I would be so fucking grateful. Like, I wouldn't kiss Ozzy and Sharon's ass if I could help it, but at the same time, I'd be like, yeah! You know what I'm saying? That's an opportunity most people don't get to have. And instead of being grateful that your music is making enough impact in the world that people still give a shit, it's, oh, well, I'm sick and tired of this battle of the bands bullshit. I'm like, what are you in high school, dude? Grow the fuck up.
say the rest of the band are gentlemen and have a great professional attitude.
Exactly. Fuck, that burns like a bitch, dude. Holy shit. People are like used to seeing Cobra do crazy drink combos. The rest of the Iron Maiden band have a very great and professional attitude. It's about the music and the fans. You know, that's the way I see it. It's about keeping music alive, and it's about the fans. You know, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a little fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like that's honestly how I feel. I can be, you know, I've actually, to be truthful with you, I've been fucking bullied by the worst people on the internet. And they sit there and spend all day fucking with me, calling me every name in the book. And then, like, freaking, I'll have one fan reach out, one fan just reach out and be like, hey, Cobra, you know what? I like your food hack videos and your vocal covers. Keep doing your thing, man. I love your videos. And that's what helps me forget about my trolls is the support I get from my fans, you know. Not trying to spurg out too hard, but it's like, okay, Cobra, you're obsessed with Ozzy Osbourne and it's cute, but calm down. Sharon!
The crew is absolutely great, but how sad it was after 10 years that this little man tried to ruin it for everyone. The band
Exactly my fucking point. If you're pissed off because you're not as famous as Ozzy Osbourne and your band hasn't performed in 10 years, at the very least, you could be like, you know what? At least I'm getting my shot here. Instead of being like, oh, hey, you know what? Like, if y'all want to accuse me of being fucking mean to Bruce Dickinson, I'm like, you ought to examine the history of online bullying that I've received. I'm like, even if you're not Ozzy Osbourne's biggest fan, what gives you the right, especially after Sharon and Ozzy and the Ozfest committee are like, oh yeah, you're good enough to be on Ozfest. Dude, if my music was good enough to be at Ozfest, I can't begin to imagine. I get a little bit of fame and I'm like, hey, that fucking feels good. I like this feeling. You know what I'm saying? I can't begin to fucking imagine being so famous that Sharon and Ozzy are like, we want to see you perform Satan's Bell at Ozfest. And let's be realistic, when you're at Ozfest, nobody gives a shit about these other musicians. They're all they want to see Ozzy, dude.
Ozfest. Don't even look at Ozfest as touring, but as its heavy metal summer camp. Bruce is in fact a jealous prick and very envious.
I actually fucking agree with that. I'm not just saying that because I'm Ozzy's biggest fan, but like, you look at Ozfest like you're at heavy metal summer camp. Exactly my point. Like, you don't gotta take it seriously, dude, but serious enough to give the people what they want, kind of thing. Like, that's what Ozfest is. It's not just about Ozzy fucking Osbourne, the greatest motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's honestly about keeping the music alive. And some poor schlup from like 4 states away is like they saved up all their fucking money to take a trip down 4 goddamn states away just to see Ozzy and the fans perform. Now, when Ozzy performed in Colorado, mind you, that's not that far from Wyoming. I went with a huge Ozzy fan, and it was just awesome. That's all I will say on that. Holy. Ah. Oh, that's nice. Well, that just happened. Well, that just fucking happened. No big deal. It happens. I was not expecting to. Uh, uh, real smooth Cobra. Ah, I blow my nose. I'll be right back. Yo, fucking hell, YouTube. Woo! Yeah, that's better, YouTube. You know what? It happens to the best of us. It do, it do. It happens to the best of us, so no worries. The stream must go on. I'm not gonna let a little minor hiccup like that stop me from streaming.
None of his tirades were directed at Sabbath, only Ozzy. Steve Harris personally came to Ozzy in San Bernardino and apologized for Bruce's behavior this summer.
And I'm like, fuck that, dude. Okay, if Bruce Dickinson's being a fucking prat, then like he should be the one to apologize. His fucking bandmates shouldn't have to fucking apologize for his shitty behavior. Like, hey, mate, you haven't performed in 10 years. Take what you can get and don't throw a fit. That's the way life works, dude. If you haven't performed in 10 fucking years, and out of nowhere, Ozzy and Sharon are just like, hey, you know what? You want to perform on Ozfest? Yes, you do. Who's a good little doggy? See, even after puking, I'm still going for another drink combo. Yeah. I don't hardly ever puke when I drink alcohol, to be honest. That was just a spur of the moment. I'm sure the fans are going to get a kick out of that. Like, oh my God. Cobra, you disgusting animal. Oh, that smell. Smells like Jack Daniels. One second.
Stating that he and the rest of the band were embarrassed by their own singer. Wow,
You know, that's pretty fucking sad, YouTube. When, like, the band is just like, we're embarrassed by the shit he's pulling. Some Jack Daniels and some Bang Wild and Watermelon energy drink. That's actually not half bad. And I'm like, that's life in a nutshell. So you fucking got a little sick from drinking. Honestly, feel better after doing that. You know, it happens. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. Look, I don't give a fuck if Ozzy Osbourne signs me. It's about standing up for what's right. You know what I'm saying? You know, Bruce Dickinson's a fucking miserable male cunt because it's like, do you realize how many goddamn musicians would kill to be a part of Ozfest and have like all these fans just, you know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. I'm gonna go out for a cigarette, but I've got like one left, YouTube. One NXT left. Uh, mm. I'll go out here in a bit. Honestly, you, YouTube. They got the hiccups. Fuck. Yeah, fuck. I don't understand being jealous of Ozzy Osbourne's fame. If anything, I can understand aspiring to be that famous. But like your little albums on deathbed tapes, that's adorable. Personally speaking, I love deathbed tapes and Alex Ford, like a brother from another mother. You know, this dude has helped me put my music out there. And it gives people a chance to be like, they can hold a physical copy. You know what I'm saying? You see this, YouTube? This is a Satan's Bell. Okay, look at that right there. It's upside down. Now it's right side up. Look at that. Ah, okay, you see that? King Cobra, Satan's Bell, official cassette tape. It's a bit old school, but it's a way to get my music out there. And people like it, dude. They really do. It's like holding a physical copy of my album in my hands. See that? Satan's Bell. Yeah. King Cobra, Satan's Bell. You know, I like it because when I make my music on GarageBand, I take the sounds that I like, and I take the sound that I like, and I combine it to make my own unique, individual new sound. And like there were several Evergrande metal musicians out there, so it's like what makes Cobra so special, you know, and I recognize that. But this is a King Cobra Satan's Bell cassette tape. It has the entire album on there. I got a box full of them from Deathbed Tapes, and there's a couple. Yeah, so if you didn't get your chance to get a hold on these bad motherfuckers, you know, go on and smoke my NXT here in a second. I'm not trying to glorify tobacco because nicotine is fucking addicting. You got one cigarette left. Then I got a big old bag of pipe tobacco, which smells lovely. I love the smell of pipe tobacco. It's just one of those scents like the smell of rain, you know. The smell of pipe tobacco is just like the smell of rain. Rain, you never forget it, to be honest. I love the smell of rain and pipe tobacco. Get a nice cherry blend, and it's like, oh, you know, the smoker gets a blast of cherry taste. And then people around you aren't going, oh, you're a filthy smoker. I've noticed that when I smoke my pipe in public, people aren't as offended. Like I could give a shit if people are offended. People are offended by me, they can suck Ozzy Osbourne and my dick. But like when you're at the bar and you step outside for a smoke and you light up some cherry pipe tobacco, people are just like, oh, that smells good. That reminds me of my grandfather or my uncle, or you know what I'm saying. So pipe smoking tends to have more acceptance in society than cigarettes do, and it's cheaper than buying them by the pack sometimes. That's why I like it personally. I do love the smell of a good pipe tobacco. And it's like it don't even smell like tobacco or cigarettes. It just has a sweet aromatic smell. And you're like, oh, that smells good. Like you take a moment to like relax, sit there, puff on your pipe, and it's like, hey, look, you know, pipe tobacco has way less chemicals than the tobacco you see in cigarettes. So, in the long run, pipe tobacco is actually the healthiest form of tobacco consumption because pipe tobacco doesn't contain all the harsh chemicals and what have you, you know. Plus, when you're on a bar and you step outside to smoke your pipe, people around you they smell it and they're like, "Ooh, pipe tobacco," you know. Like I've been obsessed with pipes and pipe tobacco since I was a kid, watching 101 Dalmatians and Roger smoke his pipe, and then just that's what did it for me, man. I'm not gonna say Disney influenced my tobacco habits, but I do enjoy a good tobacco pipe. You pack it, you stuff it, you got your pipe tool kind of thing. Because if you're a pipe smoker, I'm super autistic about this, so pardon me. Oh, my ponytail holder is attached to the pipe tool. One second. There we go. All right. If you want to smoke a tobacco pipe, you need a pipe tool, a lighter, and a good pipe. You know what I'm saying? And like maybe, and it's a lot to invest into, but it pipe smoking, in my personal opinion, is so relaxing. You don't have to inhale the pipe tobacco to get the effects. You just take a couple hits and you're like, oh, that cherry pipe tobacco tastes really good. And then the nicotine absorbs, you know. Hmm. The 99 proof bananas and the JD are gone, but that's all right. Hmm. You're having like a fucking nicotine fit, and then you stuff your pipe with a nice. And like, there's little things you can do. I've studied on this technique. If you want to smoke your pipe, you know, I'm a pipe smoker. I will say that. I'm proud to be a pipe smoker. I love smoking tobacco out of my pipe more than I love cigarettes, to be honest. But Marlboro NXTs, you know what I'm saying? I like my main two form of tobacco consumption is cigarettes and pipe, and the occasional cigar kind of thing.
We don't see statements like that anymore. And that same day, Iron Maiden posted a statement seemingly firing back on their site, which wrote in part, quote, Iron Maiden wished to thank all the 45,000 metal fans at Ozfest in San Bernardino.
Yeah, 45,000 fucking metal fans in San Bernardino. They're all there for Ozzy. They're not there for you, dudes. And the fact that Ozzy and Sharon allowed you to perform in Ozfest, you could show some goddamn respect. At the very least, a little bit of appreciation. All these fucking musicians who get a cocky attitude, like, oh, they think they're better than everyone else. And it's like, fuck off, dude.
Saturday night for sticking with us and giving us such a great response at the end of a difficult set. It was obvious to all there that we had a quote series of unfortunate events throughout. This made it difficult for us to keep our momentum, but your incredible support certainly helped us get through it. We guess it all adds up to a pretty memorable gig, though. You fans pay very good money to be there and deserve to get a full and unhindered performance from all the bands. This was not the case last night. I wanted to give you that background so you can understand just how ugly things got when we discussed this new interview from Sharon calling him a fucking asshole and saying that he is of Ozzy. That is this week. We're talking about something from 2005, and
As far as I'm concerned, I sign and you know what I'm saying? I don't care if Ozzy and Sharon sign my ass. I side with them regardless, kind of thing. It's like you see some prick like what's his fucking name? Bruce Dickinson. Your last name has the word dick in it, so that really fucking says a lot about your character, doesn't it? Instead of being like, oh, hey, you know what? Ozzy and Sharon are giving me a chance to perform. Don't fuck it up. Instead of being like grateful for that, it's you're a piece of shit. And they sit there and they dog on Ozzy and Sharon, and I'm like, what? I don't even care if I'm Ozzy's biggest fan, to be honest. It's the principle of the matter at this point. I'm like, dude, yeah, how many musicians would kill to be as famous as Iron Maiden? And you just sit there and crap on it. You know what I'm saying? You know, smoke me a Marlboro NXT. I'll be right back after a bit. That was a tasty little cigarette.
Clear that the feelings have not dulled in any way, shape, or form. Again, Consequence talked to Ozzy and Sharon in a new interview. It's an in depth interview. It's very good. We've linked to it in the description of this video. So, this is what they both had to say. First, Ozzy, he was asked if he felt he was an underrated singer when compared to other artists like Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford, and Ronnie James Dio, to which Ozzy responded, Bruce Dickinson is a great singer, but as a person, I've worked with him and he's not very nice. Ronnie James Dio is no longer alive. He was a great singer. I didn't
Rest in peace, Dio.
know him so well. I'm not one of these guys who says many things about people. The truth is the truth. I met Ronnie James Dio a couple of times. He took my gig, but at the same time, I can't complain because I did great on my own. He added, but I don't sing for a judge. I sing for my fans. If my
That's why I respect Ozzy Osbourne. He doesn't sing for his critics, he sings for his fans. That's why you should love Ozzy Osbourne too. It's not about getting approval from the critics. It's about, okay, your fans love you, and that's all that matters.
fans don't buy my music, that would tell me my singing isn't any good anymore. But they're still buying my records. I'm my own worst critic. I don't rate myself.
I'm my own worst critic. I'll drink to that, Ozzy. Cheers, mate. That's exactly how I fucking feel like I'm sitting here recording a fucking mac and cheese video. You know what I'm saying? It's the thing of it. Like, I fuck up on my cooking video, and I'm like, can I do one cooking video without making a complete retard of myself? And people are just like, Cobra, you're not a retard. You know, giving me all this encouragement, and I appreciate it. But I totally feel Ozzy when he says he's the biggest critic of himself. I'm the same way, to be honest. I'm like, my music could always be better. The fans are gonna like anything that I produce. I could produce a fucking shit album, and the fans would be like, "Oh, I love it," Ozzy, keep going, kind of thing. But like me personally, it's like if I don't like what I've produced, then I'm not gonna post it. That's how I feel. That's how it was with Satan's Bell. You know, like the album Satan's Bell is fucking kick ass. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying, YouTube? Like, if I don't like the way it sounds, then I'm not gonna fucking put it on my albums. If I like the way it sounds, then I know my fans are gonna love it. So that's just how I feel, dude. I'm not trying to be like that one Ozzy Osbourne fan that kisses Ozzy's ass kind of thing. But that's just how I feel. There's individuals who have produced music and captivated an audience.
More than Ronnie James Dio or Bruce Dickinson. That's not my gig. I don't care. I have fun
Fuck Bruce Dickinson.
what I do. My goal is to turn my fucking audience on, and that's what I try to do. I'm not interested if someone thinks I'm a fucking joke. That's fine. That's their opinion. To which Sharon at
I can respect that, Ozzy. You have no idea. People who look at me like you're just some Ozzy Osbourne impersonator. You're just their fucking joke. Your music, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? But like, oh hey, you know what? You know,
Bruce Dickinson is a fucking prick. Well, no, he's not a prick because a prick's nice. He's a fucking asshole. Because the situation is he was on a tour called Ozfest, and Ozzy Osbourne was paying him every night to perform.
That's what fucking pisses me off about it. You know, it's like you're on Ozfest and Ozzy Osbourne's paying you every night. To, you know what I'm saying? You know how many fucking musicians? I'm not trying to be that one Ozzy obsessed fan, but that's exactly how I fucking feel. I'm like, dude, yeah, how many people would kill to be signed by Ozzy Osbourne? You know what I'm saying? And you don't appreciate it. Your fucking ego fucking trips you up, dude. That's what it is.
Accepted the gig. He knew what he was doing. He accepted the gig. And every night he would go on stage.
It's like, okay, if you accept the gig and then you go on stage and trash talk Ozzy Osbourne, you're a fucking piece of shit, in my opinion.
And say bad things about Ozzy. And the crew and everybody in all the other bands would be like, "Are you going to let him get away with it?" And I'm like,
You know it's pretty bad when fucking Bruce Dickinson is being a miserable fucking male cunt. And people are just so sick of it. They're like, you gonna let him get away with this? Like, even if Ozzy was too old to perform in Ozfest, I would still promote him to the day I die. You're talking to like Ozzy Osbourne's biggest fan. And I'm so sick and tired of people crapping on Ozzy when it's like there were people out there who fucking can't produce music worth a shit. They get fucking loaded on drugs and alcohol and they try to record music and it just sounds like shit. What the fuck is mumble rap? Mumble rap. It's
am. But the last gig was LA. And I thought, you motherfucker, now you're going to get it. And so I had about 20 people in the audience, and a lot of them were nurses from Cedar Sinai because I had cancer at the time. And they were my chemo nurses. And they all came down.
you know what's really fucking sad is that Bruce Dickinson is having eggs. Like Sharon Osbourne's chemo treatment nurses are sitting there chucking eggs at you because you're an insufferable piece of shit. Instead of sitting there going, what am I doing with my life? You sit there and it's just like, ah.
And they fucking pelted the shit out of them. Wow, I can't believe she's admitting this. She continued, and my thing is, you play, you pay. And the thing is, if you're being paid to do a gig, but you don't like the person, then fuck off. But don't.
That's exactly my point. You're being paid to do a gig, but you don't like Ozzy Osbourne, then fuck off. That's exactly how I fucking feel, to be honest. Yeah, how many fucking people would love to be signed by Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne? There are so many fucking talented musicians who would love to be signed by Sharon and Ozzy. And it's like, if you don't like what they're producing, then fuck off. I fucking fully agree, dude. I don't care if Ozzy signs my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Take the money, take all the good that's coming to your band through being on a festival, doing 24 shows, and slagging the person that's paying you. It's like, no, that makes you a fucking asshole. And he is. And he never apologized. He never went up and said,
Exactly my point. You're gonna fucking slag the assholes who are like, hey, you know what? We appreciate the rock and roll and the metal and all that shit. But you're gonna slag somebody because you disagree with Ozzy Osbourne, go fuck yourself.
hello to Ozzy. The thing about him is that he's just so jealous and always has been of Ozzy. And that's his problem. Because the thing is about Bruce Dickinson, he's hugely successful. He's got a great fan base that has been loyal. The band are great guys. All the band are great and they do great. You know, they're a great band. You can't take it away. And neither would I take that away from them. But the thing about Bruce is he is unknown to the public. Bruce Dickinson could walk into anywhere and nobody would know who the fuck he is. Do you know what?
That's gotta suck when Bruce Dickinson walks into. And if you're doing the whole celebrity thing to get recognized, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, mate.
Saying he's a faceless singer to the general public because people aren't scrambling to get him for an interview. And the thing is, he's not interesting. But the thing is, Ozzy is original and Bruce isn't. And that's what eats Bruce away. That is one of the most hardcore interviews I think I have ever read on this channel, to be completely honest with you. That's the thing about Sharon Osbourne. And I know a lot of people don't agree with her here, but if you look at the entire situation, she feels as though he was disrespectful to her husband. She obviously loves.
Exactly my point. Fuck what you have to think. If you were having your other half disrespected, you'd stand up and be like, you know what? Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Very much. And Bruce is also a legend. I don't know what happened backstage. We don't know whether or not there was some sort of disrespect, but for them to react as strongly as they did against him, it's clear that they felt that he was obviously disrespectful to Ozzy. And you don't really see people as outspoken as the Osbournes are anymore. And that is something.
You don't, because if you're outspoken, you're being seen as some kind of sicko, whatever. Like, the it's fucking stupid. If you're sitting there fucking mad because like the only option you have. I gotta take a piss. I fucking
that Sharon has done well. They have done very well, not just as musicians, but as figures in entertainment, period. She knows how to create buzz. I'm sure when they were giving this interview to Consequence, they knew that this is a big interview for them. So, and by the way, they did a fantastic job. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Obviously, there are two sides to every story, and Bruce Dickinson doesn't really play into these kind of things, but there is clearly no love lost here from the Osbournes going all the way back to 2005, the way they felt that they were treated by Bruce. So let us know what you think in the comments. And again, if you could take a quick second to hit subscribe, we would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you're a reader, you are secretly a writer. On this course, I'm going to teach you everything.
Stop fucking. I don't gotta hear anything that I don't gotta hear anything to make my point heard.